Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome to. Well, normally we record these on Sunday nights, but today's Monday, so we both had a work day. We both had a small to moderate amount of alcohol, so we're tired.
A tiny amount.
Tiny amount.
Just enough to make me a little bit sleepy. Yeah.
But anyway, this is episode 7 of...
What?
I know. 7, right?
Holy crap, no wonder I'm tired.
Yeah. We've been doing these for like 18 hours now.
Whoa.
Just did all of them at once.
All of them in 18 hours. That would have been incredible.
That would have been. Because we didn't really make it through hour 1 because I fell asleep at the table. This might happen again.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to shorten this one up.
Yes.
Folks who listen.
I think we're definitely going to experiment with doing shorter episodes for our benefit and for your benefit.
So I can go to sleep early, folks. That's really the only reason we're doing this. Not for you. This is for my health. My mental health.
Sanity. Yeah, yes. Mental health.
Speaking of mental health
we're
going to be talking about natural intelligence, because we talked about artificial intelligence last week.
We did do that 2 weeks ago.
However many weeks ago it was.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, because we were,
Last week was time travel.
Right, last week was time travel. Oh, my gosh. I just missed a whole week. It was time travel to the future.
Now you got to go back and figure out if you change
in time and talk about natural intelligence. So, yes, because artificial intelligence is how smart Brent's computer is compared to him, and then natural intelligence is going to be human intelligence, animal intelligence, whatever you want to call it. And what exactly is intelligence? What is
intelligence? That's
a very good starting point. What does Urban Dictionary say about
I don't use Urban Dictionary.
Okay,
right?
you're better than everybody else.
Okay, Wikipedia says... well, I tried to look up natural intelligence. It wasn't there, so I found human intelligence.
Okay.
So this
I just want to know what intelligence is.
Just intelligence?
Just intelligence.
Okay, well, I will try.
We can look up human intelligence, too, but I've got stuff to say about other species' intelligences.
Intelligence has been defined in many different ways, including as one's capacity for logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning, emotional knowledge, planning, creativity, and problem solving.
That's a lot of things.
There's a lot.
That's a lot of intelligence that a person can have.
It can be more generally described as the ability to perceive information and retain it as knowledge to be applied towards adaptive behaviors within an environment or context.
Ooh.
So it's kind of your ability to take your past experiences and apply them to your future experiences.
So we could argue that a goldfish is not knowledgeable because it has a 5-minute memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah. So,
well, goldfish that's actually a myth. They do have more than that, but it's not very well formed.
Well, but then, so do you think it means more along the lines of, because then are like rats and mice, quote, intelligent creatures, because you can teach them a maze, and then they can run it.
They can teach you. Oh no, you can teach rats a lot of stuff. You can teach them tricks and shit.
Tricks and shit.
Yeah, I know. I've had rats.
Yeah,
I have had. They know their names. They come when you call them.
That's weird.
Yeah, I taught them how to spin. They built a nest under my bed. It was great. It was great. They learn how they have to be very good at finding their way through things and problem solving. If you're that small and things want to eat you, you have to be able to hide. Got to know where you're gonna hide. If there's a stash of food somewhere that you stashed,
well, what's the difference between that and instinct?
Well, instinct isn't really a learned behavior.
Right. So I'm just wondering, like, if you were to say a rat is intelligent in the way that it knows, like, when and where to hide, or is that instinct?
Well,
like self-preservation
no, instinct would be run. That's instinct.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, that's the instinct, but the intelligence comes out of finding a good place to run towards. Otherwise, I would argue that a bug is totally instinctual.
Okay.
So, if you ever, like, tried to step on a cricket, right? A cricket just jumps. It doesn't care where it's going. It's jumping away from the shoe that's gonna hit it.
Right.
Like it's just flying. Like it doesn't know where it's going. It's just getting away from danger, right? So that's all pure instinct. They have they don't really have brains per se. They have they're called ganglia. They're like little bundles of nerve cells, which you could argue that a brain is just a bundle of nerve cells. Go ahead. But they basically have these little centralized ganglia, usually more than one. So they'll have like one, say, in their abdomen. They'll have one in their head. The one in their head tells them to eat and to, pump their blood. And then the one in their midsection controls their muscle movement. That's why you take off the head of a bug and it still keeps moving for a short amount of time, at least. Or its body can still survive despite not having a head for a certain amount of time. Obviously not forever, but you basically have these little bundles of nerves that say that are talking to each other. It's just like your central nervous system. And you'll have the eyes will receive information to say, oh, there's a foot coming towards me. It'll bounce down to the ganglia via pathways. It'll bounce down to the ones in the abdomen. And then the abdomen's like, legs, fucking move. That's all it is. That's how they're...
So is it more of a reflex?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So any sort of scared animal is going to go through fight or flight, or there's like other ones now, but it's like fight or flight, and then there's another one that's like play dead, essentially.
Okay.
So or freeze, I think is what they call it. So then I have freeze.
It's got to be an F word.
They've added another F. So it's fight or flight or freeze. And so you see a lot of
freak the fuck out.
Freak the fuck out, right?
One. It's in your textbook.
That's kind of like flight.
Yeah. But like not as productive.
Yeah. All right. It's like how I live my life. Just freak out.
Just overthinking.
It's not that productive, but damn it if I don't feel a little winded afterward. Yeah. So you got like.
Just screaming in place.
Yeah.
What's wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just freaking out. It's okay. It's instinct. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's my mom gets very confused. But yeah, it's so like a rabbit or any sort of prey animal, right? Will go through the freeze. Like a rabbit would just stop. Yeah. It's like, hopefully, I blend in. Like, if I don't move, you can't see me. Like, T-Rex is coming after them. They're just, don't move. And then, antelopes or things like that, they see something running at them, they're like, fuck it! And they just run. Like, I don't know where I'm going, I'm getting away. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's instinct. But I would argue that, any animal has that instinct, but not everybody has intelligence, right?
Right.
Or at least that intelligence ends there.
Right.
So instinctual intelligence is probably a thing.
Yeah.
So I would argue that humans are even further from their instinctual intelligence, quote, than most animals. Most animals are very, very intelligent because we don't have the sense to say, run away from a tiger because we don't see a tiger every day. So we don't have that. We don't know. We get paralyzed in fight, flight, or freeze, which is ironic because freeze is one of them. But like, you're like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what to do. My instincts are not helping me out right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that because we have?
That'd be a form of intelligence.
Well, that's interesting because humans tend to have some sort of maybe an ability for. I almost want to say abstract thought of like, not only do we hit that fight or flight or freeze or freak the fuck out, but we also like can forward think into like, okay, what does this mean kind of thing?
Well, I don't...
Like if I saw a tiger running at me, like it wouldn't... I'd like to say I wouldn't freeze, but I probably would because like...
Yeah.
Like... what?
Well, yeah.
Like a like
Exactly. You would get, well, that's just it. You, like, instinct is gonna take over. Like, you can't necessarily, no, it's probably not gonna be the smartest move, really, no matter what happens. But I think we've tricked ourselves into thinking that we are above instinct, and that's not true. I think at the end of it, instinct is going to take over, no matter what. And
right,
it'll probably end up with you getting attacked.
Right, but yeah, that's what I mean is it almost like a muscle, like where we don't work it. Like I mean, I'll play like a video game or something, or watch a movie, and they'll have like a jump scare, and that's the same thing. It triggers that fight or flight, and I'm just like like I don't react.
Yeah.
I get scared, but like I don't. I'm in the freak the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I think people are more likely to go into freak the fuck out instinct mode than an actual productive instinct mode.
Right.
Like, run the fuck away. If someone's chasing you, fucking run, you idiot. But I mean, there are other ways that you can handle things that I think that's another thing though. You can actually go against instinct, and that would be a sign of intelligence too.
True.
Like the best way to handle a tiger coming at you, believe it or not.
Run zigzags.
No, they'll get you.
I wonder if I can guess. Just fall over?
No.
Act like a bigger tiger.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
all right. So I have the instinct.
Yeah.
It'd be my third choice.
Well, exactly.
Well,
that's not the instinct.
And I'd get eaten.
Yeah.
And then I'd fall over and get eaten. And then I'd try to be a bigger tiger. It was like, now I've eaten his fucking legs. He's not a bigger tiger.
Yeah. So you've already died twice over. So that instinct is not very good in you, I can see.
It's my third choice.
Yeah. But that's just it. That's not instinct, though. If it's your third choice, it's not an instinct. Right?
Touche.
So it's going against your instinct. Your first instinct is to run. Jesus Christ, there's a fucking tiger running at you. You better run, motherfucker. Your second instinct, I would say, you're gonna do one of two things. If you like, as a person who has worked with big cats, like the average Joe is gonna do one of two things.
That'd be me.
You're the average Joe in this scenario. You're either gonna run and get the hell out of there, or you're gonna be totally paralyzed.
Yep.
And you're just gonna be like,
sounds about right.
yeah.
It's a fucking tiger.
Right.
It's
like
a monster.
And you can battle with those two things, but you are not going to immediately run at it and start screaming, which is actually what you're supposed to do.
Does it work?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It scares them the fuck, and they're like, holy shit, I did not expect this.
Cats are skittish.
No, you'd be surprised. Like, the animals in the wild, let me say that first.
Okay.
In the wild are afraid of people, naturally. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the number one thing keeping animals safe in the wild right now, is being afraid of people. Just, they're like, shit, fuck. Like, get me away from this. This is clearly gonna kill me. And so, like, there's this great video. I still love it. I really want to like talk about it later, but it's like there's this like YouTube video of this person on a bridge, on a wooden bridge, somewhere I guess in Northern California, I think.
Okay.
And they're just like, you just see someone holding. I have very poor eyesight, so I couldn't really see everything at first. But this person's just like holding. I guess it's their phone. They're just like holding it. And they're taking a video, like, and you just hear them like real quietly, like. And they're like, what? Like they don't know what to do. And this cougar, this mountain lion, just comes peeling past them, and he's like, holy shit, and it's just like it runs past them like as fast as it could, because you know that cougar's thinking the same goddamn thing. They're in this, they're like on this bridge.
It's like a Mexican standoff.
It's almost so bad. They're on this bridge, this wooden bridge, and there's like these like tall railings on either side, and it's just narrow one-person bridge. And this somehow or another, this poor cougar got on this bridge, and he's like sees a person, and they're going opposite directions, just like fuck. What do I do? Person decided not to move. The cougar decided to get the fuck out of there, and so he just like peels off and like right past the person, and the person's just like filming this whole thing, like screaming, and yeah, so he decided to freak the fuck out, whereas the cougar decided to run for his goddamn life. And I just think that's like the most beautiful thing, because it's like
that is pure instinct. Like, everybody's thinking, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. This is like a bad situation, so let's get out of it. And I think that's purely instinct. Like, the cougar's like, the only way I can go is forward. I can't back up because this is like, he couldn't even turn around because it's such a narrow bridge. And so he's like, fuck it, and he just like runs. But like, that's the instinct part of it, though. Like, at the end of the day, like, you gotta make a split-second decision. You're not really letting your brain make the decision for you.
Right.
You're letting all your muscles make the decision for you. And that could be a sign. That's a different type of intelligence, I would say. And then, furthering, like going further with that would be humans' reasoning. And so our ability to sidetrack instinct and go straight towards, I'm gonna run at this thing and scream at it, like, which is against everything you feel you should do. But that's just it. Like, that's everything against what prey usually does. And that's why a predator is gonna be like, fuck this. This isn't prey. This is not a prey thing because it's coming at me.
Prey thing.
This is not what I don't want to eat this thing.
This is not my prey thing.
This is not a prey thing. It is clearly something else.
I don't know if you know this, but that is how all tigers sound.
That's how tigers talk. I should know. I worked with them.
They all sound like this.
They all sound like this.
This is not a prey thing, and my stripes look fabulous today.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're always fabulous.
Yeah. So then what's the well, actually, I mean, I always thought it was interesting. I just remember, this is like the only thing I remember from undergrad psychology, is how like babies don't have object permanence.
Yeah.
But dogs do.
Yeah, so a dog, your dog, specifically, like there are dogs with differing levels of intelligence. Right. Your dog has the intelligence of a 3-year-old.
Yeah. She's actually the smartest breed.
Yeah, I know. You keep telling me. Yeah, I didn't take a class in it, so that's cool. And by that I mean I did take a class in it.
Border Collies are the most intelligent breed of dog.
No, say it again.
I don't know if you know this, zoology major, but I've had this dog for 4 years. And I can tell you, Border Collies are the most intelligent breed.
You're shitting me.
I'm not. They are actually the most intelligent breed.
Okay. So, yeah. So your dog is currently chewing on her foot.
God damn it, Cora!
But she is the most intelligent dog breed with the same intelligence level as a 3-year-old.
Yes.
So, it's, object permanence is not something that humans develop until after the peekaboo phase, essentially. So that's why you can play peekaboo with baby, and they're like, "Oh my god, where'd you go?" It's because they don't have it's basically a test for intelligence called object permanence, which is where you know that something is still there despite you not being able to see it.
Right, like if you roll a tennis ball under the couch, a dog understands the tennis ball is still there, but it can't get to it, whereas a baby is like, gone forever.
Yeah.
So then, moving forward from that, then what's the gap? Like, where's like kind of what's the closest?
So, what do you mean, the closest to humans?
Yeah. Like, what's the?
So, the closest intelligence to humans that we know of, I say intelligence in quotes because all animals have their own type of intelligence, as do all people. I've known some people that are very intelligent at some things and very, very could use some work at other things.
I think everybody's kind of like that.
Exactly.
Like, I'm real smart in a couple things, and I'm pretty dumb in a lot of other. Yeah.
So,
I was trying to think of something I'm dumb at. Can't think of it.
You're funny. You just keep trying, sweetie. It's there. It's there. You just keep trying. We all see it. You just take your time.
I didn't know what a vegetable was like a week or two ago. There's a whole thing where I'm like, are potatoes vegetables? And you're like, what the fuck? You can go back and listen to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on the podcast.
Potatoes are actually a stalk of a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, they're delicious.
They are very delicious. Yeah, actually, for all of you out there, potatoes are the stalk of a plant that has been buried below the surface of the dirt, whereas a tuber is actually the root of the plant, and that would be like sweet potatoes and turnips.
I do like sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes are delicious. I had one; it was so good.
Anyway, closest animal intelligence to humans in our understanding of what that is.
Okay, so the closest to the human intelligence that we are aware of, it's not to say that people are more intelligent, but the closeness in actual how we perceive the world would be chimpanzees.
Right.
Is probably the closest that we can understand. As far as like other animals, there's debate about like
dolphins.
Dolphins and elephants have a.
Well, they never forget.
Yeah, well, elephants.
And they can't jump.
Well, the babies kind of can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that destroys everything I remember.
Yeah, elephants, they can't really. I mean, they can't really, like the big ones can't really jump. But the little babies, they do like a little front hop. They can't I don't think they can get all 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
They're just really, really heavy. But like most, like hippos and rhinos can't really do it either.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, and I'm not that great myself, so. It's like a 3-inch high jump, really, for me.
Not much of a jumper.
It's not really a jumping thing, and I'm not a jumper. But yes, chimpanzees and primates are our closest relatives on the clade on which we are all living, and they possess the intelligence. Some would say that their intelligence is on the level of a 4-year-old child, but like I said, I know some people that could probably use some.
We have some mutual acquaintances that are probably.
But it's very interesting.
But I mean, well, you say that though.
Cognitive studies are.
Well, no. I was just gonna say on like less than like serious cognitive studies, like chimpanzees and different primates have like learned they use tools. Like in their day-to-day activities, where like a 4-year-old kid doesn't use tools.
One thing that like I think is very interesting that separates us from chimpanzees is actually not what you like. It's not what you expect, like abstract thought or anything like that.
Right.
No, we have no proof. There's no proof out there that a chimpanzee does not possess abstract thought. It's not something we can, like we taught animals how to sign and things like that, but at the same time, it's still not something that we can prove they do not have.
Right.
But the one thing that really separates us, that we can actually track and like and see, is our brain. Basically, the areas of our brain that have different functions. So, everybody has what is called a reptilian brain. Even down to reptiles, obviously, have what's called a reptilian brain, which is essentially a cerebellum and a spinal cord. It's the thing that tells your heart to beat, tells you to eat, tells you, upside down is upside down. It gives you balance.
Right.
Like it controls your breathing, everything that is basically involuntary in your body.
Like essential for life, and you don't think about it.
Exactly. So this is what we call a reptilian brain, and everybody possesses this. Pretty much every vertebrate is going to have this, except for sponges and starfish that have like a central. Starfish are invertebrates. Anyway, most vertebrates have this, and then you go up to a mammalian brain, which also contains basically the frontal lobe, the big dome. Rats have a very small version of this, and it doesn't have a lot of folds in it or whatever. But they're still able to learn and perceive things. But the areas of our brain are really cool because chimpanzees actually don't have the same areas of their brain that we do. Like they do, but they're not in the same place. So we have something called the Broca's area, and the I think it's Wernicke's area in our brains, and they control our speech. And the Broca's area, I believe, translates thoughts into words, and I think the Wernicke's area translates sounds that we hear into thoughts.
Okay.
So one comes in, the other one goes out.
Right.
And I might be flipping that up, so you can look
I can
that
fact
up.
check that.
But the cool thing is that chimpanzees, theirs are in two very different places than ours.
Okay.
And birds, actually, like parrots, the ones that can repeat things, are in the same position as humans.
Huh.
Yeah. So our ability to mimic sound, because a chimp can't talk to you.
Right.
Right? They just scream.
Yeah.
And they can sign. Clearly, we can sign to them. They know what we're saying. And they can ask us, for a ball, and we know what they're saying. But they can't actually process our words and speak words to us. So if you look at an X-ray of a bird brain, like a parrot, they have their Wernicke and Broca's area in the same position as a human. So their ability to actually take in sound and then repeat it aloud.
Broca is the speech production.
Okay, so I was right.
Yeah.
Broca's coming out,
Yeah.
Wernicke's coming in.
Right.
So I just thought that was really interesting, and it actually makes our ability to communicate more effective, even though there is some very, very effective communication in chimpanzee and bonobo world, and other primates too. Like they can talk to each other quite easily, but I think that actually audible sound is something that they can't actually do physically.
Right.
And whereas other animals like dolphins, who can produce clicks and squeals and they can produce sound to talk to each other, they are highly intelligent animals as
Right.
well. And so it's very interesting. Different gaps get filled in by different parts of your brain. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is.
But yeah, so the human brain is per body size is the largest brain in the animal world. It's it's not the large, the heaviest.
Right.
The largest brain in the world is in a blue whale,
Right.
out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's a big animal.
Right.
Now, for its body size, it's still pretty nice. It's a pretty good sized brain. But dolphins and people are pretty close. Dolphins are still a little bit smaller for their body size than humans, but they're a lot closer together than a chimpanzee even. So it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe dolphins are smarter than chimps.
Maybe dolphins are smarter than people.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's like I said.
I definitely know some people.
Like I
that are
said,
not as smart as people.
okay, there was a teenager who was trying to mop the floor with a stick.
Dolphins can click at each other.
Dolphins don't mop. Because they don't have hands, people of the world.
They live in the water.
They live in the water. Very good, Brent. They live in the water.
Because dolphins live in the water.
Very good.
Why don't they mop? Because they live in the water.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a cookie later.
No, I don't want that. I would like a sticker.
A sticker, okay. Give me a sticker. A nice glitter. But anyway, we have 4 minutes left.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're at 31.
Oh, we can trim it down.
Yeah. Well,
But-
there's not much to trim.
You can trim out the Cuban mop part. Apparently that
But then
was racist
that
to you.
last joke doesn't work either then.
It still works. Let's do it back again. It'll work. Anyway. Yes, so this is just gonna be me talking the whole time, apparently.
Well, I do know elephants can't really jump.
Yeah,
And dolphins live in the water.
Yes.
So, but other than that, you do know a good bit more.
I don't know. I just so my favorite things that I've learned in my studies, I took a primate ecology and evolutions class that was awesome, and we watched all these cognitive studies, and I think they're like the funniest thing in the entire world. So they do. So there's also social intelligence too.
Right.
Like we didn't really go over that as much. We went over like instinct, and that could be a form of intelligence. We went over speech is considered a form of intelligence. Communication is very important. But then there's, and of course problem solving is very, very important. But there's also social intelligence. And some animals don't have that, especially animals that live on their own clearly don't have a social intelligence.
Right.
But even animals that live together have different levels of social intelligence. So a beehive, which is often seen as a unit.
Right.
They often talk about a beehive as a whole. That's like social intelligence. Hive mind is what it's called. So they all communicate so effectively that they are basically thinking as one entity. And same with like ants and those really and termites and very, very socially cognitive animals.
Because then there's a difference between something like a beehive and an ant colony, but then like a pack of wolves and then like a human family.
Well, that's just it. It's the like what was I gonna say? Their level of social intelligence would be seen as greater than ours.
Oh.
Because they're thinking as one whole unit.
Hive mind.
A hive mind, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're thinking like humans can't do that.
No.
We can't think.
I don't want to.
Right.
I'm
I don't
a lone
want.
wolf.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mr. Wolf. But
Dr. Wolf.
oh, you're not a doctor. You have a master's, you asshole.
Master Wolf.
Okay, Master Wolf. But one thing that I thought was really cool was that social intelligence can actually change problem-solving intelligence. There's one video that we watched that was really fascinating, that I thought was really cool, where they did a study with chimpanzees and a study with bonobos, right? And it was the same experiment where they would put a bowl of fruit outside of the bars of the cage or whatever it was that they were using to, or sometimes it was plexiglass, but they had a rope, right, that around a bench, and in the middle of the bench they had the bowl of fruit, and you couldn't pull one end of the rope and have the bench come to you because it would just slide through, because it would just slide around, right? So you needed two, and they were spanned out too far for one animal to grab both and pull.
Right.
So you needed to have two animals on either side pulling the rope in order to get the food. But here's the problem was that chimpanzees come from a very aggressive hierarchy sort of social structure.
Okay.
So if you are the alpha or you are the more dominant, like if you have two of the same kind of class level, then they might do a little better. But there's usually one of them that outranks the other one.
Right.
And so if that was the case, the problem would never get solved, because the other one would be so greedy that it would just pull the rope and wouldn't let the other one have anything. And the other one was smart enough, quote unquote, smart enough to know that if they tried to help this one, he was just going to steal all the food.
Yeah.
So why even help you? So it would just be like, no, like, fuck you. I'm not going to help you get food that I'm not allowed to eat either.
Yeah.
So, but the bonobos are a very non-aggressive and a matriarchal centric social structure. So they're much more based on cooperative social. That's a really nice way of saying they fuck all the time, you guys. They just have sex all the time. It's true. That's why they actually weren't introduced to the United States until 12 years after they were discovered, because apparently we were too prudish. But this is so true. That's why they don't have them in zoos very much. Look it up. But anyway, chimps.
No, I was gonna make a completely different joke. No, that's fine.
Okay.
No, it's just very matriarchal. It means they do a lot of listening.
Yeah, they listen. They listen a lot.
They listen a lot.
No, so chimpanzees are very, very aggressive and male-centric.
Right.
And they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the way they
As
get
males do.
Yeah, that's the way they get things done. And the females just have sex, and that's like they get things done that way. Believe it or not, this is 100% true. So, but bonobos, what they would
Sounds
do?
manipulative.
No, not really. They work it out.
They figure
They work out all that frustration.
Yeah, no, the female bonobos got to figure it out. Like, they just got to give it up a little bit, and the males do what they want.
No, man, the males are low man on the totem pole. They don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. Anyway, but what would happen though is that with bonobos, they would figure it out immediately because they were like, oh yeah, you just pull it out, we both get to share it. We're gonna share this. Look at all this fruit we got. And so the chimps couldn't ever figure it out.
Beat the shit out of yourself.
Yeah. So they sound like women. God damn it.
That was you. You made that joke.
No, you
know. I
looked at me sideways.
What?
Anyway.
I was just making a silly voice.
Okay.
You had to make it sexist against yourself.
I'm always sexist against myself. So the chimps couldn't figure it out because they didn't have cooperative social intelligence. And bonobos figured it out every time because they were like, this is so easy. And so that's another thing, like the ability to cooperate with your fellows is actually another kind of intelligence that humans sometimes possess, sometimes we don't. We're on the middle ground.
I think it kind of tends to be I think it's more of a give and take with humans. Like, you can kind of turn it off, turn it on. Like, there's there's people I don't want to cooperate with because I don't like you.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's other people
the
that's
same
like...
thing with the animals too. I mean, there were some that would work better together than others.
Yeah.
But it's just more interesting that as a species, the chimps had a much harder time than the bonobos did.
Right.
But that's kind of cool, I think. And like their ability to create culture and use tools and things. And corvids, who are ravens and crows, they have problem-solving abilities that are just like beyond. They just think of things immediately, and I think it's like the coolest thing ever.
Huh.
They're actually one of the few animals that create tools, so they can make tools out of things to achieve a goal. Like they had this one where they like just put like a coat hanger, or like a piece of wire, on the ground in a graduated cylinder, and then they put a grub, whatever kind of fun food, at the bottom of the cylinder, and the bird would go over there, you'd look at it, you're like, oh fuck, I can't reach it. And then he'd see the clothes hanger immediately. Like, they could show this for the first time to any bird, and they just got it. And I was like, I don't even know if I would have come up with that. And they just go over, they bend the wire, and then they just use it as a hook and pull it out.
Huh.
It's the coolest thing ever. They're so friggin' smart. And one thing that was funny too, they did a kind of the same sort of study with chimps, but they gave them a graduated cylinder with one of those marshmallow like circus peanuts, and a cup of water, like a jug of water. And like they couldn't reach their hand down it, obviously. So like and it's like nailed to the table, so they can't pull it up. Right. They can't just dump it out. So they're like, oh, what do we do? And like immediately, like the first time they showed them this, I'm like, what? My mind is blown. They just pick up the jug and pour the water into the graduated cylinder, and the marshmallow floats up to the top, and they have it. Like. Immediately. But then I was reading further into that one, and it got really funny because like apparently some of them would do it, like they all got it but in different ways, but some of them would like drink the water and then spit it into the graduating cylinder so that it would come up, and then apparently the males would just pee into it. They didn't even need the jug. They just like fuck the jug. They just pee it. And they still ate it.
Well, that's what I figured. I was like, well, yeah, you just pee in it. And you're like, oh, you pour the jug. I'm like, oh, or you could pour the jug.
Or even waste time with that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny too. But it's I don't know. There's so many cognitive studies out there with animals that are incredible. But I think that the best one that like
puts people against apes, the great apes. So that the great apes are gorillas, chimps, bonobos, and orangutans.
Right.
Those are the great apes. And I don't think they did it with bonobos. I think they just did it with chimps. But they had a magic box. It's called the magic box experiment. And
they peed on it.
They did not pee on the box. But essentially, you have a black box, and you have an instructor. So you have the person that's like telling them how to use the magic box. So you're teaching, and they had children of ages. I think it was like 4 to 8. So they had a pretty wide range of ages, and all fully grown adult apes, which have apparently the intelligence level of a 4-year-old child. And so they had the magic box, and you saw, and the instructor had a stick, right? And he would lift up the top of the magic box, or he would like tap the top of the box, open the little door, tap the inside of the box, close the door, tap the side of the box or something like that, press a button, and then out popped the little door, I don't know what you want to call it, little lever popped open, and there was a starburst in it.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody loves starbursts.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Not the yellow ones.
I don't think they really cared at that point. But anyway.
I would.
Anyway, I know you would. I'll get you one later.
Okay, just as long as it's not yellow.
Okay.
I want a sticker and a starburst.
Okay, I'll get you a sticker and a starburst. But anyway, a little starburst would pop out, and everyone's like, yeah, shit, yeah. And so... yes. And so that's how it worked. And everybody across the board got it right.
Yeah.
Like they all did exactly the number of taps. They did the right progression of things to get the candy, right? Mm-hmm. Then they replaced the box with a clear box. Totally, you can see through it, so you know what it looks like on the inside. And apparently, you don't have to go through like the first 4 steps. All you got to do is press the button, and the candy pops out, right? But the instructor still did all of the different tappings, went through it the same way as with the black box, and all of the apes, every single one of them, were like, "Fuck that shit!" They pressed the button and they get it like immediately. The children. Ages
doomed.
4 to 8.
We're doomed.
These are 8-year-old children.
Like 2nd graders.
Yeah, these are
Third
children
graders.
who have object permanence. They could see inside the box, and they can see everything that's happening. They followed every tap exactly the same as with the black box. Now,
this is how Planet of the Apes starts.
No, listen, no. So people were going over this and like why they did this like a bunch of times, and they were like every time the apes skipped all the steps and immediately pressed the button. And the children who are smarter than apes and who can see it, they went through all the steps. Now why with children who weren't even told, what they were just told to do this. And they actually think that is why humans are more intelligent than apes.
I would almost say, did they do it because of like a guarantee?
Well, no. It wasn't because they were guaranteed. It's because they were told to do it exactly that way, right?
Right.
And they think that's why humans are more intelligent, because we are able to follow direction so well and learn so closely from our superiors, quote unquote, that we can actually learn more complex things instead of taking shortcuts, which is very easy to do. If you see a shortcut to get to some place, that because you saw a gap, like that's fine, it'll get you there. But say that there was a step that you had to do, there was only one step that you had to do in the middle, that if you didn't do it, you don't get the reward. Even if the first steps didn't matter. The fact is, you still would have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Like there was 5 steps, but you had to do step 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact is that if you immediately skip to the end, you wouldn't get to where you're going. And now you have to backtrack and try to figure out where you went wrong. Whereas if you had just followed directions from the beginning, you would have already gotten there. And you could even go back into how you got there and say, oh, I didn't need to do these.
Yeah.
And that way you could you could actually go back in half the time.
Right.
And figure it out. Whereas if you just go immediately to the end result, you'd have to go back and problem solve your way through it, which would take much longer.
Right.
So they think that people's ability to replicate and recreate exactly what they've seen is what makes them more intelligent, more capable of going forward into other lines of thought than an ape that just saw a gap in the in the system and just
exploited it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe the really funny experiment where the kids look really fucking stupid, where they still do, but I'm just saying they do look like idiots when they're doing this. But maybe that makes them more intelligent.
Maybe. Should we send that out to the Twitterverse?
Twitterverse. Okay, sure. Twitterverse. Are people more intelligent?
Or no, let's say what makes
people intelligent.
Yeah, what makes people intelligent?
Yeah, why are humans considered intelligent?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
You think you can answer that in 140 characters?
It's probably going to be all like insults and...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not
We're
even...
not, you're dumb. Yeah. Shut up.
Everybody's stupid.
Your names sound too similar, I can't tell who's who.
Well, then you're not intelligent. This is just an Ed. Just listen with your Wernicke's area. You'll get it. Start pouting.
Just start pouting over Twitter.
I'm very, very tired.
Me too. We'll cut that line out. But we'll say let's throw that out to the Twitterverse. Like what makes humans intelligent? What makes human intelligence?
What makes the people intelligent?
What makes them smarter?
What makes us so
They're
intelligent?
so smart. So you can hit us on Twitter at #PSA Podcast, and there's a very good chance we will respond because if you
How do I find that?
You just gotta search it on the Twitters.
It sounds so hard.
It's not. It's like 2 clicks and a couple types. I know.
You're gonna have to show me in great detail.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure there's gaps. I'm gonna show you 18 steps, but you have to do 3 of them. It's a creepy face you're making. Seriously, really didn't like it.
Can we do this as my picture? It's gonna be so nice.
That being said, this is going to be a shorter episode, and we're at 50 minutes.
Yeah, we can cut some stuff out.
Yeah, we can cut it down like that. But thank you all so much for once again joining us here on PSA Podcast.
I want to keep talking about this. It's so
we want to say this is part 1?
This could be part 1. We can talk about stuff.
Yeah, we can figure something out.
I'm really excited about the what makes a human episode.
Yeah.
That one. We could talk more about it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, this will be the end. This is the end of episode 7. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Brent Blakeney.
I'm Brett Williams.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.